I made $1,082 on my first month on Turo. Hi there, if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you are new here, my name is Lucy. This channel is all about personal finance, building wealth, finding different ways to make passive income. So if you enjoy any of those topics, be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on that notification bell. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about my Turo experience and what I learned from it, what I wish I had known before I started, and making over $1,000 on Turo in my first month as a host. Be sure to stay till the end of the video so you know exactly what to do when launching your first Turo business. Best practices for you to become a successful host on Turo. So I bought my car in September of 2021, just this past year. I bought a Toyota Corolla. I also will be pulling up some numbers for how much my auto loan was and the details of the interest rates, my monthly payments, and all that. So as everyone know, it was kind of a crazy past year. A lot of shortages in the vehicle industry. There weren't too many cars. New and used cars were going for way more than what they should cost. And so when I wanted to purchase this car, I initially wasn't thinking about doing a Turo business, but just wanted to buy a car. Later on discovered, why not try out this exciting new way of building passive income? And so that's why I decided to list my vehicle on Turo. And so when I was looking for a car, because I actually needed one, I realized that there weren't a lot of options. I was planning to buy a used car because I know with a brand new car, you lose a lot of the value of the vehicle once you drive it off the lot. So I was looking at used cars, but I also realized that used cars were going about the same price as brand new vehicles. It just made more sense to buy a brand new car if I was to, pay for the same price, as long as the deal makes sense and I was able to get financing and the car was what I wanted to buy. And so I wanted a reliable brand, and that's why I went with Toyota. I also wanted a sedan car. I didn't want too big of a car. I wanted one that can really just get me around, very fuel efficient, sleek, new, nothing crazy intensive. I'm not looking for a very high-end vehicle, just one that can really take me around. This is the vehicle I went with. It is a Toyota Corolla 2022. I know I bought it in 2021, but this was the only car they had on the lot at the time. I was able to test drive it and I loved it, so ended up signing for it that same day. And before that, I was able to get pre-approved for the auto loan, so everything was already prepared for before I went to check out vehicles at the dealership. And so a little bit about the numbers. So the vehicle I bought was $24,000. The vehicle I bought was $24,035. Now this included all the fees, so this was like my out-of-pocket, and I decided to put down $3,000 for the down payment. So my auto loan was about $21,000. Now I was able to get a really good deal because I have a pretty decent credit score, and if you want to learn more about getting a credit score, because it really does help whenever you are financing a house, a car, anything else, they do look at your credit score. So if you want to learn more about that, check out my other videos about building good credit scores. Now my interest rate, because I was able to get one of the better deals, and the credit union that I worked with had a promotion going on, so I was able to get the loan for 1.99%. It was a 6-year loan at 1.99% interest rate. Monthly payment on this is about $326, which is relatively decent. Most interest rates for auto loans go from 4 to 7 to 8%. So I was able to lock in a really good rate to borrow money to purchase this vehicle. And so after I purchased this vehicle, I wanted to try out listing my vehicle on Turo just to see how it would go. The first couple of days, I didn't really plan accordingly. I didn't really look into running a Turo business, and so I listed my vehicle for $100 a day. Now for a week or 2 weeks or so, I didn't get any bookings for my vehicle, and so I just decided to switch up the strategy a little bit. I know Turo has a feature called automatic pricing, which allows them to analyze the pricing in your area and give you a recommended price. So I decided to follow that. This dropped down my per day rate to $35 a day, and about within 1 day of actually updating my pricing, I was able to get 2 or 3 bookings around the Christmas time. I thought $35 is really cheap to rent out my vehicle, and the fact that I wasn't getting the full $35 since I have an insurance plan with them, it was going to probably come out to be 70 or 80% of that, and then any maintenance fees I haven't considered. So I was really either making nothing or breaking even. But then I decided to do some research and figure out what the market rate was for a vehicle like mine to be rented out on my market. That's when I realized that an average booking for my type of vehicle is between $50 to $70 per day. I switched my pricing strategy and changed it up again to $60 per day, and this helped me a lot because I was still getting bookings and it was at a higher rate than what Turo has suggested. Now obviously every market is different, so I would do some research for yours. Sometimes going with automatic pricing may help your situation, but also realize that you have other fees like insurance, any other damages, maintenance for your vehicle that you need to consider, and if it doesn't make sense, then maybe that's not the right pricing strategy for you. Within 1 month of listing my vehicle, I was able to get about 20 bookings throughout the next 3 to 4 months. I pretty much had a booking every single weekend from October to March, which means that my pricing was perfect because there's just enough demand for my vehicle. So a little bit of my earnings from October 27th to November 27th, about exactly 1 month long, I was able to earn $1,081. Now this is my net earnings, so this deduct any of the insurance coverage that Turo offers. This is my take-home pay. Obviously you need to consider taxes and maintenance and all that, but this is how much I was paid out directly from Turo. By the time I did the screen recording, I actually received another booking that made my total to be $1,276 in my first month. What I noticed was that the payout was immediate, so a day or 2 days after the car was returned from my guest, I was able to get paid out directly into my bank account. And like I said before, you don't get the full amount of the listing. So if you list it for $60 a day, someone booked it for $60, you're not going to get $60 paid out to you. Depending on the plan you choose, you're going to be getting a certain amount of that plan. If you enjoyed this video so far, give it a thumbs up. And if you are a host on Turo, if you're thinking about starting a business, leave it in the comments below. Now, a little bit about the things I've learned throughout my experience on Turo and what I wish I had known before I started. Now, first and foremost, the most important thing I learned is that your pricing strategy needs to be accurate. So take the time and do the research to figure out whether or not you are charging above the market rate or below the market rate. You always want to consider this because it's going to affect you financially. If it's more than what the market rate is, then you may not get as many bookings. If it's less than the market rate, then you may end up losing out on money, you may end up breaking even, or your revenue may not cover all your costs. So definitely something to keep in mind if you are starting your Turo business. Make sure you take the time to do the research. Something else I learned is to have excellent descriptions and high quality pictures. Now, if there are a lot of different cars listed in your market, what may stand out is the description, the pictures that you offer so that people can see how big and small the vehicle is. These are all important when you are listing your vehicle on Turo. So take the time to write out a nice description and take the time to take good pictures of the car so that way you are able to showcase exactly what your customers are getting when they book your vehicle. Another thing that I wish I'd known was to add different packages. There's actually a way for you to add packages in addition to booking your vehicle. So for example, to add in prepaid fuel, or to add in a cleaning fee, or to add in pickup or drop off location. Any of these additions can really boost your earnings per trip. Something else to consider doing is to ask your Turo guests to leave a good review and rate their experience on the Turo app. This helps you a lot because a lot of other guests who do book vehicles, they do look at these reviews, so they also want to have a good experience, and so this really does help with boosting your bookings and then obviously boosting your earnings. Another thing that I wish I had learned a little earlier is to turn on notifications. I know this can be annoying whenever you're getting random notifications from different apps, but this really does help you provide a really good customer experience. Whenever you get a request or a new booking or changes to a booking request, or it could be just messages to you. Now, the quicker you can respond to these requests, the quicker and the better the experience is for your customers. Now, overall, my experience on Turo has been pretty excellent. I've done this for a few months so far, and it's been great passive income. I do see a lot of bookings over the weekend, and so I don't really get to use my car over the weekend, but I do have the vehicle over the weekdays, so that's something to consider. If you do really need the car, this may be harder than a side hustle, but if you want to block off time in advance, if you know you're going to be needing the vehicle for a certain weekend, you can definitely do that on the app. Just make sure you do it well in advance, because a lot of people do prepare for their trips well in advance. If you do want to really make a business out of it, it's important to also understand the numbers. See if it makes sense. The cost of maintenance, the cost of financing your vehicle, and the actual cost that you can list your vehicle at on the Turo app, if it really does make sense. I'll go more in depth into a analysis that you can do to figure out whether or not the vehicle you want to purchase will actually help you generate net income. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, and if you want to learn more about personal finance, building wealth, investing, different ways of building passive income, be sure to subscribe to my channel. See you later.